Most men don't feel lazy. They feel heavy. Everything takes more effort than it should. Progress comes in short bursts, then collapses. One area of life improves, while another quietly falls apart. You're working. You're trying. You're doing what you were told was right. And yet, stability doesn't stick. Respect feels conditional. Momentum never lasts. At some point, you start wondering if something is wrong with you. There isn't, but there is something missing. The mistake most men make about discipline. When men struggle, they reach for the same fixes. More habits, more routines, more motivation, more mental toughness. On paper, it sounds mature. In real life, it feels exhausting. Because discipline without structure turns into self-policing. And self-policing burns men out. If you constantly need effort to hold your life together, the issue isn't willpower, it's architecture. The quiet pattern you might recognize. You can lock in when pressure is high. Deadlines, breakups, fear of loss, that's when you perform. But when things calm down, standards soften, consistency slips, old patterns creep back in. Not because you're weak, because nothing internal is enforcing order when the adrenaline fades. You're improvising your life in real time. And improvisation is expensive, where your power is actually leaking. Most men don't notice the leaks because they're subtle. They look like staying calm, but feeling numb, avoiding conflict, then feeling resentful, being productive, but not grounded, attracting interest, but not respect, tolerating chaos longer than you should. You're handling it. But handling it isn't the same as leading it. The problem with patching instead of building. Here's the hard truth most advice avoids. Habits don't hold without hierarchy. Boundaries don't last without authority. Calm doesn't come from suppression. It comes from order. You can't duct tape your way into stability. Another routine won't fix a system that doesn't exist. Another mindset shift won't create internal law. Another burst of motivation won't replace structure. Those are patches. And patches fail under stress. Why effort isn't translating into respect. A man without internal structure leaks authority. People feel it, even if they can't name it. That's why. You over-explain decisions. You negotiate boundaries. You feel drained after neutral interactions. Relationships drift into confusion. Your identity shifts depending on context. You're adaptable. But adaptation without a core becomes self-abandonment. The truth about being strong. A lot of men confuse endurance with strength. They tolerate more, stay longer, hold their tongue, absorb chaos. They call it maturity. But endurance without standards isn't strength. It's erosion. Real strength is not reacting. Not because you're numb, but because there's something solid inside holding the line. What's actually missing? You don't need to become a different man. You don't need to be ruthless, dominant, or loud. And you definitely don't need another checklist telling you what to fix about yourself. What you're missing is internal governance, clear rules that decide how you act, what you tolerate, when you engage, when you walk away. Not situationally, not emotionally, but consistently. That's what operating systems do. They remove decision fatigue. They enforce standards without effort. They make behavior automatic. Why this isn't a motivation problem? If this were motivation, it would have worked by now. You've tried pushing harder. You've tried caring more. You've tried being better. And it never sticks. Because the issue isn't desire. It's that nothing inside is in charge. You're running your life on coping mechanisms, not commands. The uncomfortable realization. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. You realize why. Productivity feels fragile. Calm feels performative. Confidence feels situational. Discipline feels forced. You're not failing. You're just operating without structure. And no man thrives in chaos, especially self-imposed chaos. This is where most men stall. Here's where men usually go wrong next. They immediately ask, okay, so what do I do? That urgency is part of the problem, because jumping to action without structure just recreates the same loop. More effort, same instability. The real shift doesn't start with action. It starts with order. The quiet ending no one talks about. Most men don't change when things hurt. They change when the story they've been telling themselves stops working. The story that says, I just need more discipline. I need to try harder. I should be able to handle this. At some point, handling it becomes more exhausting than facing the truth. That truth is simple. You don't need more effort. You need a system that makes effort unnecessary. And once you see that, improvisation stops feeling noble, and structure stops feeling restrictive. It starts feeling like relief. Final line, let it land. Most men aren't stuck because life is hard. They're stuck because nothing inside is enforcing order. If this landed, it's probably because you've already felt the cost of improvising your life. I've been writing and building around one idea: that most men don't need more advice, habits, or motivation. They need internal structure, something that governs decisions, boundaries, and behavior without constant effort. That's what I call the masculine operating system. Link is in the description. If you want to go deeper, not to be fixed, but to put order where there's been friction, you can explore it when you're ready. No rush, no pressure. Clarity has a way of pulling the right men forward on its own.